Just
Thank you.
don't show this again. Oh, it's starting time, isn't it?
It is.
Well, why don't you start the Love, Peace, Harmony, and that'll allow people to get here.
Sure, I will do that now.
I appreciate Ronald coming on time. Most folks don't.
Thanks, Holly.
You're welcome.
I love my heart and soul. I love all humanity. Join hearts and souls together. Love, peace, and harmony. Love, peace, and harmony.
Thank you, Holly. One of our background makes it happen people. Thank you so much. And welcome, Ronald and Holly, Anita, Zahir, Ginger, and there's more I can see because there's a blue arrow over there. Kim from Toronto. Yes, and Zahir, I believe, from Trinidad, Tobago. And we may have someone join us from the Philippines soon. We will find out. So this is the every Wednesday Breathe, Balance, Blossom series that's coming to you from the Dow Portland community. That's Portland, Oregon, but we have, well, Holly's in Colorado. We have support people who are literally around the world. So I always like to clarify that. Doesn't mean it lives here. So the whole concept of breathe, balance, blossom is that there are very powerful, extremely simple techniques. And we get asked every once in a while, well, I'm Catholic or I'm Buddhist or whatever, is this going to interfere with my belief system? It's like, no, this is not a religion. These are techniques that the masters, the highest teachers in many traditions and religions from literally around the world have discovered and passed down. Most of these teachings that you'll hear, excuse me, on these Wednesday webcasts, Wednesday for us, and I know if you're in other parts of the world, it's already Thursday. So most of these are, they are not Master Sha's teachings. Dr. and Master Jigong Sha is a world-renowned healer. He's a philanthropist. He received the Martin Luther King Jr. Award or recognition years ago, more than, I think, 15 years back, for philanthropy. Sorry, I got something in my eye. So the teachings, he has gathered them, synthesized them, clarified, simplified, and gives them to us. And some of the packages are so small. There's 2 little white books, and they literally fit in a large pocket, but in pockets. I used to carry, I had a jacket once. When it was winter, I'd wear it, and I'd have a book in that pocket because the little white books are about like 6 by 8 inches and 3/4 of an inch thick. And I love them because they each have a Tao calligraphy in them. And I'm not going to work with Tao calligraphy and share those with you tonight. We're going to dive into something that I ran across. Now let me pull this slide up. I have to make sure that I have it still parked. I do, good. And then open it. That's not the way to open it. There we go. Go down to status. There it is. And share. Excuse me, I'm going to have some throat sore, or I'm going to be coughing in your ear. So the topic for this entire month, and you get 4 different focuses, and within each of us will be bringing you, have been, and will be bringing you different ways to work with these, with staying focused when under stress. So first of all, what causes stress? So I invite you, I would like for your feedback. So I'm going to pop up 3 here, and then I would appreciate it if you would post your awarenesses because I wanted to keep the slides less than 100, less than 50. So if you would put in addition to multiple deadlines, conflicting desires, wanting to please. Now that last one, I'm not aiming at anybody. That last one was big in my life for more than half my life. And it did cause stress. Stress is caused, so let's jump over and see if we don't have any posts yet. So, and I'll ask Holly or Sharon, our background wizards, if someone posts, or you can unmute and come online if you'd like to. Anita, you're unmuted.
Oh, I am. I'm so sorry.
Oh, well, I thought you were going to share what stresses you.
Oh, I could. I was working on my little list. Okay, so I wrote down keeping informed and up to speed with social media.
Oh boy.
Family, many things to do at the same time. I have 3. And all of those apply to me also. Multiple deadlines, all that. Yeah.
Thank you for sharing. Anyone else? We all have stress. Fear. Fear. Oh, yes. Yeah. Thank you. So stress in our lives, and we can use the unbalanced emotions for the 5 elements in traditional Chinese medicine. So for wood element, it's anger, and I used to be an expert on. I would never admit I was angry because I didn't want to live with that in my consciousness. It was in my unconscious, and everybody else knew it, I suppose. So I would have all synonyms for anger. I'm not angry, I'm just irritated. I still remember that because there were like 3 different people, just their mouths dropped open. They looked at me like, are you serious? You don't even know you're angry? I used to be very angry. So stress in our lives. Let's leave the stress behind, leave the stories behind. That's one way to reduce stress, incidentally, that I didn't even think of when I was putting the slides together. So one of the ways to reduce stress, in addition to what's going to come, is let go every time that and I do it all the time, I hear myself talking or thinking about something that occurred yesterday or 40 years ago. And it's like, oh, excuse me, divine. Please forgive me. It's a short forgiveness practice. And then if we say, so this wasn't even planned, so it's broken up as it's coming in. What do I say? I say, dear divine, please forgive me. Ten Da, Ten Da, Ten Da. Ten Da refers to the 10 greatest qualities of Tao in Dr. and Master Sha's teachings. So it's greatest love, greatest forgiveness, greatest compassion, greatest light, greatest humility, greatest harmony, greatest flourishing, greatest gratitude, greatest service, and greatest enlightenment. So the quick way is to just say Ten Da, Ten Da, Ten Da, and then you've done it 3 times. There's something, you can call it magical, or magic is a universal law we just don't understand yet. That's my belief. But when we do something 3 times, I've seen 3 pop up so many times in ancient, was it Ireland? It was before Ireland was called Ireland. And people would join in matrimony by jumping over a rope 3 times. I still remember that. And 3 pops up in so many different ways and in many different traditions. So let me give you some other ones. You don't have to jump over a rope. One of the biggest ones for me is clarity. I learned this and relearned this and learned it better all through my life as I kept fine-tuning who I was, rewrite my not arborvitae, that's the plant that was just pulled out next by our neighbor next door. My application, resume, that's the word I want. So as I kept expanding my awareness, every time I went to apply for another job, I kept all these resumes. Over the years, I must have had 15 of them, and every one of them was written at a higher level of consciousness. I learned clarity. I learned how to, for example, now we talk about job skills. And so back then it was the desired outcome, the what, the why, the how much. So those are really powerful tools. Incidentally, you will receive this PowerPoint when you get the copy of the recording. It'll be sent to everybody that's registered. So you don't have to write all this down unless you like to. I always take notes too. So another way to reduce overwhelm. This one I loved. I used to be able to hold like 15, 18 different tasks related to the goal in my mind. And then I got one when I had to do a training for it was a junior league here in Portland, Oregon. And it had 38 different steps or parts to it. And you had to start one at this point, and then it went for like 5 weeks. But in between, there were 3 other ones that had to be started because, like, at the beginning, I had to order the films that we used for the training because we were training the junior league women to go into kindergarten through 3rd grade classrooms and teach these young kids, the little kids, stranger danger. And we didn't realize at the time that there's greater danger that's not from strangers. But that was what we were working with. And I broke that down. I had a wall chart that was about 5 feet long. Every once in a while, I was with the Portland Police Bureau, and every once in a while there'd be somebody that was visiting our department, and they'd wander and they'd look at the wall. And I was like, geez. So reducing overwhelm is we can break the tasks down into steps. Another option, completely different perspective, and it's one that I didn't learn for decades. Stop and stretch. When we're stretching, I invite you to stretch right now. If you raise your arms up over your head, then what happens is blood. I saw a video the other day. Somebody raised their arms over their head, and you could see it, I guess it was an X-ray. The blood drained down, and it drained into their heart, and you could watch it happening. It was amazing. So that helps with increased blood flow, recycling, moving it around instead of having, you put your feet up. That's similar. Feet above the heart for 5 minutes, and you get the equivalent of a blood, like an oil change. It also releases something that are called endorphins. And you can look that up if you want to and learn more about those. Another option, this is one that many of you are familiar with, because I know a bunch of you here, and that is to play the song Love, Peace, and Harmony. And Holly, for those who may not have it, if you could put lovepeaceharmony.org in the chat, that's where you can go and download the song. It's been translated into over 70 languages. It's amazing. And it's so powerful. Yeah. I love my heart and soul. Another is we can return to our natural state. You might say the original state, by experiencing divine joy. Divine joy, I'm going to make that even larger. I love playing around with these. So instead of 70, let's go to 80. One type. Experience divine joy. It's our natural state. So divine, I shouldn't have said another option, but it is divine joy. So I want to introduce you to another mechanism, another option for reducing stress. We're all in different states every day, throughout the day. I talked to a world famous hypnotist decades ago. And I said, well, I went into an altered state. And he says, you just went into a different altered state. And I didn't understand that. And what do you mean? And he gave me a short overview of it. But we're all in a different state, mental state, emotional state, sometimes physical state throughout the day. But there's another concept that's called a trait. A trait is a characteristic. So the difference, well, yeah, let's look at the different traits, the different states. We can be happy, irritated, calm, focused, anxious, upset, because states change all the time. A trait rarely changes. So the way to experience divine joy more than we are, more than we usually do, is to make it a trait. So I was reading, I give myself a break from building these PowerPoints, and I was looking at some reels on Facebook. And if you don't know Sai Ma, she's just an amazing enlightened being, alive. And Master Sha met her, and they did webcasts together for months. So she was writing one of her blogs, joy is the key to the door, to the portal, to the gateway. When you are joyous, you're inviting us to enter your field. So think about that. Would you like to be like Sai Ma, the Dalai Lama, Dr. Master Sha? They exhibit traits, calm, sometimes joy. Certainly, they don't get ruffled much. And what Sai Ma said, after she said, when you're joyous, you're inviting us to enter your field. She said, you're welcoming us. And that's something that I want more ability to do naturally, rather than, because I've had to learn everything. The way I grew up was angry, was not wanting to be with people, not making deep relationships. I've only had 2 or 3 really good friends, 4 maybe, in my entire life, because I was afraid of intimacy. Yeah. So when we welcome someone, we're saying, hi, come into my house. And then we could become like Sai Ma, like the Dalai Lama, like Dr. Master Sha. So to develop a trait, rather than endure these shifting states, we do it by transforming, or rather we can develop a trait that transforms the root cause of stress. And since that's what the focus of tonight is, for the whole month actually, but this is my focus, So how do we develop a trait? You know, Simon said we have to train our mind to be joyous. It's like, okay, but you didn't give the how in the real. So I realized that I had a book written by Francisco Quintero. I, I, I remembered it, and I picked it out of my bookcase, and I looked inside, and he'd signed it. And it was 15 years ago. And I don't think I turned more than 3 or 4 pages. Yeah, sorry about that. So the book looks like this. It is still available from the store on drshaw.com. Just click on books. So to transform our state, or a bunch of states, to a trait, what Francisco notes in there is you have to lead a joyful life, and the divine created us with an inner spark of his joy. Like, wow. Immediately I went, whoa, let me read some more. So fix number 1 are the beginning of transforming our negative information that we carry. Everybody has it. To transform it to divine joy, number 1, I invite you to close your eyes, unless you're driving or cooking. So remember moments when your heart was filled or overflowing with joy. Now, I know some of you have family and you've had multiple moments of joy. For me, the one that's number 1 in my life, when my son, he just visited us, he just turned 33, but when he was about 2 weeks old, we had him, Kate would wrap him up in his little blankie with his little beanie on his head, and he would sleep a lot. And when we were in bed, he would be right in the middle of the bed between us. So it's a Sunday morning, I'm sleeping in, and Kate got up, changed him, wrapped him back up, put his beanie back on. He was asleep again in a minute, and she placed him on her pillow, put it in the middle of the bed. I was facing the middle. When I woke up, he's still asleep. And all I saw when I woke up was him. And I was still in that not really fully awake state. And so he just filled my whole view. And my heart just went, ah. And that has stayed with me for 33 years as my number 1 precious moment. So the power of precious moments is joy is an aspect of our soul. I'm quoting Francisco. Joy is when our hearts and souls, our memories connect to our heart and soul. So we have to learn to reconnect. And we can do that. One of the ways is to recall precious moments. And I would suggest that you do it now if you want to. This is recorded, so you won't miss anything. But what is the top 1 or 2 or 3 most precious moments in your life? I heard one guy, and back then I was on the same page. He says, man, when I got my new Mustang, that was like top moment in my life. I don't think he was married at the time. If he was, I hope his wife didn't hear it. So we need to reconnect. So what is your precious moment? 1 or 2 or 3? Now, the reason that we lack joy, quoting Francisco again, we have separated ourselves from the divine. I did it by doubt. I had a half a dozen really significant events that were supposed to change my life, and they didn't. And I was so invested that I created disbelief. Those events, when they didn't deliver what they promised, and they were significant. So I began to doubt. There are other ways that we separate ourselves, as with cell phones, video, Facebook Reels. I'm really careful to limit myself on those. Shopping. I know people who live to shop, who there's shopping channels on television. Like you got to be kidding. I'm a guy. I don't, shopping is not my thing. We do it with computers. And this is one that I've been working on. There's level after level after level of it. I used to do a lot of complaining. And that really separates us. Somebody said once, if you're complaining, you're telling me that you have no trust in the divine. Like, what do you mean? If you're complaining, you're saying God doesn't know what he's doing. So I had to sit with that for a while. And it took years, but I realized deeper and deeper that's really what it is, no matter what we call the divine, God, Yahweh, Allah, Shiva, conscious, the intelligent, or universal intelligence. There's so many different terms. Yeah. So how we connect with divine joy. And I invite you to do this short little exercise with me. So imagine a holy being, your choice. This is all about you, not me. So who is the holy being that comes to mind for you? And one of my best friends, one of my few best friends, it would have been being on a lake and being with a fishing pole in his hand in a boat. He didn't even care if he'd baited the hook. And I didn't realize it for 20 years. But his state of holiness was nature. With many, it's Kuan Yin. With me, for the early part of my life, it was Jesus. I still have songs I learned when I was a kid. Jesus, Jesus, blessed Jesus, oh, for faith to know him more. They're still there. They're stuck in and I don't want to dig them out. You know, there's some things that are in my memories. They can stay. So whoever your holy being is, say to that being or nature, I love you, honor you, and appreciate you. Please offer me a blessing of joy. I'm very grateful. Thank you. And then I invite you to repeat this affirmation with me. And I'm just going to use Jesus. You use the one you want. Jesus fills me with joy. Thank you. Jesus fills me with joy. Thank you. A friend of mine, it would be Mother Mary, fills me with joy. Thank you. Mother Mary fills me with joy. Thank you. Mother Mary fills me with joy. Thank you. Now, we have to connect. If you have your eyes open again, you'll see we connect with the heart. The head cannot connect. It's a completely different system that I didn't understand. It was probably 6 or 8 years after I met, it was 2014, before I understood what heart meant. Not the physical heart, but the state of being in the heart. You can call it the heart chakra, whatever your terms are for it, but we've got to connect. We can't do it with the head. We can do it with sound. That is a way to get there, because well, it depends on the sound. Heavy metal will disconnect you from the heart. But if you chant the name of that holy being, Jesus, 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 Mary, 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 Shiva, Shiva, whatever the name is. Yeah, with my friend, it would have been Trout Lake, Trout Lake, Trout Lake, because that was what was the, he just was a completely different person. He didn't drink or smoke when he was on the lake. That's one of the reasons that I haven't seen him for years, because he finally quit drinking, but he couldn't quit smoking, and I was too allergic to it. So the power of sound. Sound transforms the negative. Why? Because, well, it depends on the sound, of course. The vibration, the frequency and vibration of holy names can transform all negativity. So what we can do is ask the holy being that's your choice, please bring me joy. Please bring me joy. And then again, we can say, dear divine, I love you, honor you, and appreciate you. Please offer me a blessing of joy. I'm very grateful. Thank you. And then here's a really powerful mantra. And I'm so grateful to Francisco and, of course, his training with Master Shah. Divine joy fills my heart. Thank you. Divine joy fills my heart. So I invite you to chant that silently or out loud. Divine joy fills my heart. Thank you. Divine joy fills my heart. Thank you. Divine joy fills my heart. If you prefer, instead of divine, you can use the name of that holy being. It doesn't fit easily. But you can just say, Jesus fills my heart. Mother Mary fills my heart. But if we focus on joy, the concept here is, how do we create a trait? How do we become joyful? And so we have moved to this point where step by step, and you can go back through the slides yourself. Divine joy fills my heart. Thank you. So one of the 4 basic teachings that Master Shah started bringing to us years ago, one of them is, well, actually 2 of them. One of them is sound, and the other one is what he calls soul power. I still call it invocation. And so we ask for what we want, and we did that. Dear Divine, could you give me a blessing for joy? And then we chant the mantra, divine joy fills my heart. Thank you. Divine joy fills my heart. Thank you. Divine joy fills my heart. Thank you. Now, I can't do this when I'm in a rush. I can't do it quickly. One of the lessons I got back in 2014, Dr. and Master Shah had just published the Soul Over Matter book. And it was chapter 8, where he was saying something about the heart and, saying the mantras with the heart. And I thought I had to look down at my physical heart. And I kept doing that for days. And I felt the left side of my chest expanding. And I wondered if I'd grown muscles there again, like when I was lifting weights when I was much younger. And I went into the bathroom and I pulled up my t-shirt and I was like, nope, no muscles. So what was it? I had focused, I had practiced. So it was intention, the saying what I wanted. It was the action, chanting, the mantra fills my heart, that fills my heart, develops my heart. And what happened was, energetically, that side of my chest was significantly larger, bigger, powerful, stronger. It was noticeable. And that was rare for me back then. That was 11 years ago. I didn't feel very much. So we grow this state until it becomes a trait, until we're just divine joy, because we've practiced it so much. One of Thomas Edison invented the recording machine back when they didn't have records, didn't have transistors and stuff, but they made a wax cylinder. I found this hard to believe, so I had to find 3 verifications of it on the web. But he developed a way to record somebody's voice, and yeah, it was not very good. It didn't, yeah, but it worked. The needle, the way that they did it, it created a groove with little wiggles in it in the wax. And when you played it back with a different kind of a needle, evidently, in the groove, you could hear the voice. It was amazing. And it was recyclable. You just had to melt the wax and then you could re-record. So we have recordings in our subconscious. And not all of them are divine. We can re-record over them. First of all, it's really beneficial to do forgiveness practice. Dear Heaven, dear God, dear Jesus, dear Shiva, dear Buddha, I deeply apologize for this, whatever it is that's running in my head every once in a while. Deeply apologize. Please forgive me. Thank you. And then divine joy fills my heart. Divine joy fills my heart. So I invite you, you can put one hand on your lower abdomen just below the navel, and the other hand on your heart, palms facing the body. That's body power. That boosts the effectiveness. We're stacking things. We've got the invocation, dear divine, can you give me a blessing for joy? And then we're chanting sound power. Divine joy fills my heart. And then body power as we chant. Divine joy fills my heart. Thank you. Divine joy fills my heart. Thank you. Now you can go up another level. You can stack one more. I remember when I was first learning these spiritual practices, it's like, I can only do 2 at a time. I can't do the 3rd one. Well, I learned 2. And then I learned to do the 4th one and then the 5th one. So, man, if I could do it, you can do it. I came from way behind the starting line. Divine joy fills my heart. Feel it. Thank you. And then imagine light. Imagine at every inhale, you're receiving a fresh influx of cosmic joy. And every exhale, it fills your body, it fills your heart. Just you can think physical heart chakra, you can think your whole body. You can heal yourself. Say you just bumped your left knee on something. Focus on your left knee and give it joy. Divine joy fills my left knee. Divine joy fills my left knee. Every inhale, breathe in divine joy. Ah, divine joy fills my heart or heals my knee. Whatever you want. Why do we say thank you? Because Francisco wrote, each blessing is a gift from the divine. And so thank you is an expression of gratitude. Most of the time, I don't know about you, but I did not used to be very grateful. I was always looking for something else, something that I thought was better or more of. So over the years, thank you, Master Shah, I've learned how to connect from the heart. So let's chant again. Divine joy fills my heart. Thank you. 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 Thank you is gratitude. So this is one way to stay focused when under stress. You can learn to have that mantra running in the background. It's easier to have the Love, Peace, Harmony song on the little player that you can get or running on your phone. Even if it's running silently, you might be in a meeting. Yeah, I know people that they have this little Love, Peace, Harmony player and they have it hung around their neck. And if they're with people where they need to focus on them and not be heard, not having that heard, they just put it on silent. Yeah. So chant, chant, chant. Divine joy fills my heart. Thank you. Every once in a while, when I'm learning a new mantra or practice, I need to go back to step one. Oh, well, what was step one? Step one is to desire to change. Step two is to ask, dear divine, could you give me a blessing for joy? There's days when I was begging, dear divine, I feel like I'm crawling in the gutter. Can you give me a blessing? Divine joy. And then we have to practice. We have to repeat. Why? We're recording over the negative information. And some of those other recordings are pretty deep. I just had another level of something come up the other day. I was like, man, I thought that was fixed. No, but you did good. Here's another level. Work on it. Thank you. Because what's in our subconscious is affecting us. It's affecting others too. One of the core teachings of Dr. and Master Shah is the purpose of life is to serve in a positive way. I did enough service. It might have been neutral sometimes. Other times earlier in my life, it was non-neutral. Yeah, it was not positive. But divine joy fills my heart. When we do this enough, or when we chant love, peace, and harmony, or think it, we're radiating that frequency and vibration. And going back to the difference between a state and a trait, states shift all the time. We just go through one after another. That hypnotist gave me one of the most important lessons in my life. I thought every once in a while I could do spiritual practices and I would get into this altered state. And he said, you're moving from one altered state to another all day long. And it must have been 30 years later, I ran across the concept of a trait. And as I was putting this slide deck together, it was like, yeah, Sai Ma, I mean, she's just full of joy all the time. The Dalai Lama, wow. And Master Dr. and Master Qigong Sha, just totally amazing beings. My first spiritual teacher was, see, his whole name, Hazrat, means he's transitioned. So it's like, we honor your having been in a body and gone now. Hazrat, Pir Murshid, he was the head of the Sufi order in the West. So he was the Pir Murshid he was the top guy. And then his name, Vilayat Khan, and then Chisti. He was a member of the Chisti order music. And he was the first man I ever trusted. And I was already way past, how old was I? Yeah, 36, yeah. And now there are holy beings. I think of them that way. Sai Ma, the Dalai Lama, certainly Master Sha, they exhibit traits that I want in my life. And so divine joy fills my heart. Thank you. All I have to do is focus on this. And the more I do it, the more we do it. We're doing it as a group. What happens when we're in a group? The physicist, Dr. William Shu, I used to think that if there's 5 people in a group, then I'm getting 5 times as much benefit. She says, no, the benefit is the square of the number of people in the group. I was in a practice group this morning for about 40 minutes with 54 people. That's like 2,500 plus 40-minute benefits. It would have taken me, more than one day chanting 40 minutes at a time. Well, more than a year. So group practice is just wonderful. And we're able to to join those. There's so many options. Divine joy fills my heart. This is what the main concept that I would like to leave you with tonight, today, this afternoon, wherever you are in the world. The main concept is transform an altered state. Choose the good ones. Transform that to a trait. And we can only really focus on one thing at a time. Somebody said once, this was years ago, I heard it, they says, if we're multitasking, we've got 1/3 of our mind on one task and 1/3 of our mind on the other. And my mind is already waiting. Wait a minute. What do you mean 1/3? It should be 1/2. It says, and then they finished their statement. The other third is the subconscious in you that's in confusion. Just which way do I look? So if we focus on one, it's called one-pointedness in some of the spiritual and other kinds of traditions, like in mindfulness training. Some of the Buddhist practices, one-pointed, means don't multitask. Divine joy fills my heart. So when we desire something and we get a perfect practice, or we get a practice and we perfect it more as we transform, and then we have to practice. We have to repeat it. I love that concept of Edison and his recording machine using wax rolls. I just didn't believe it. Record on wax. Yep. And the good news is our subconscious, there's parts of some of our recordings may be recorded on granite, but a lot of them are recorded similar to wax. Divine joy fills my heart. Divine joy fills my heart. And I may have used up, here's another concept. Imagine that you have 50 wax recordings, those rolls that went in the machine, and you fill one up with divine joy. And then you plug another one on, take that one out, sit it on its little, they set them on spindles so they were upright. Put another one in the machine. Keep chanting, divine joy fills my heart. Divine joy fills my heart. Thank you. Yeah, gratitude is so important. Divine joy fills my heart. Divine joy fills my heart. Thank you. 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 And I know that you may have had this. You may have already had to leave. Anita leads a class, starts at 7, so yes, she has to leave before 7 to prepare. So for those of you that are here and those of you that are watching the recording, thank you so much, because I just love to serve. I love to do this. I get happy doing this. I get joyful when I chant, divine joy fills my heart. So remember that joy comes within, from within. Make it a trait. Make joy a trait. As we do that, others will make peace a trait. That's my prayer. And so I'll ask now if any of you have any questions, comments. And if not, I hope you're focused on chanting divine joy fills my heart. Thank you. Divine joy fills my heart. Thank you. There's been a lot of love, peace, harmony recorded chants. I think there were still some going on every day. And after I'm on there listening to others chanting for like a half an hour or so, and I move on to another task and, close that Zoom down, I still have it running in my mind. Divine joy fills my heart. Thank you. Or love, peace, harmony. I love my heart and soul. I love all humanity. Join hearts and souls together. Love, peace, and harmony. Love, peace, and harmony. So for all of you here, thank you so much. Sharon and Ronald and Holly and Zahir and Ginger and Kim. Anita had to go. And my friend from the Philippines might have been baking cakes, but she didn't make it this time. But everybody that registered, they'll have the recording. When I sent the email out earlier, because I know we all have a life, and 6 o'clock Portland time, that may be the wrong time for somebody to come on. So I just said, hey, register, get the recording. So thank you for coming. Ronald, you unmuted.
Thank you for your service.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you for being here. That's service too. So
You're welcome.
thank you. Divine joy fills my heart. Take that with you. That's my prayer. And I'll see you another time. Be sure to dial in next Wednesday. I don't remember who our teacher will be next Wednesday, but they're screened carefully. And I'm always here, always getting more. So thank you all, and see you next time, somewhere,
Goodbye.
someplace.